Izu was born into a wealthy family, but his parents disowned him because of his dream to become a pro gamer. He ran away when he was still young and lived with his best friend Sumyuku, who also had the same dream. Our story begins when esports is officially recognized as a sport in China, and the popular MMORPG called Glory has just started its first ever esports professional championship league. By July, pro teams from all over the country will compete in the esports scene for the first time. Players from all over the provinces start forming their own team, and two expert Glory players, Izu and Sumyuku, talk about the league. While at work in an internet cafe, Sumyuku tells Izu that he's excited about joining the pro league because he'll get to fight against the best Glory players in the world. He adds that he wants to touch the 24-karat gold trophy that the winners will get at the end of the championship. Izu argues that joining the pro scene means he'll have to sacrifice a lot of things. In response, Sumyuku asks him if he doesn't want to touch the trophy. Izu does want to touch it and become a champion, but at the same time, he knows that his identity will be exposed. He first needs to get his family's approval, otherwise, he will end up tarnishing their name and increase their hate toward him. Hearing this, Sumyuku offers to help him out. That night, Izu and Sumyuku are doing their usual work in the internet cafe, when they are asked by their boss Tao, who's a bad player, to join his hunt to kill a world boss. Izu and Sumyuku slot in their glory cards in the login machine, and call their usual raid group members to help their boss out. The Cliff Ronin Alpine boss has just spawned, in Royal Style, a group of professional players tries to steal it from Tao, who's not only their boss but also the guild leader. Izu introduces Kai Breaker, a martial artist, to Tao, and the latter tells Izu that he's going to lead the team. Izu briefs everyone that Royal Style players are all bad, except for the Exorcist, who's the only one who has an idea of what he's doing. So he tells the team to separate the Exorcist from the Royal Style main team, so he and Sumyuku can finish them off. The mission starts and the boss enters its enraged state. Kai Breaker appears from the shadows and disables the Kai points of the Exorcist, sending the guy flying. Sumyuku follows up with Bullet Rain skill, and Izu throws his evil annihilation spear towards the enemy, sending the Exorcist down. Meanwhile, Emotionless Magic summons an ice wall, cutting the path of the remaining Royal Style, while Spring Heaven finishes off the remaining members. The Exorcist recognizes Izu's skill, and Izu asks him to admit defeat, but he refuses. Izu then starts dueling him to activate the 7th stage of Battle Spirit, a 120-hit combo passive skill that greatly boosts a player's attributes and fighting style. Izu then increases his finger's speed, planting a face kick toward the Exorcist's face. The Exorcist tries to take Sumyuku out, but Izu manages to blow him away to the respawn point. The next day, Izu meets with his twin brother, Ikyu, who asks him how he's doing, and Izu tells his brother that he's finally about to go pro. But to his family, video games are seen as nothing more than an expensive hobby. Izu then tells him that becoming a pro player isn't just playing video games. His brother informs him that their parents are asking how he's doing, because Izu's doing nothing all day but playing video games, instead of taking over the family business. Izu tells him they're like kites and their parents are trying to chokehold their flight, but Ikyu just tells him to do what he wants, and he'll hide it until their parents approve him again, and then hands him a face mask to cover up his identity. After meeting his brother, Izu accompanies Sumyuku and his little sister, Sumacheng, and they reminisce about how they met. The next day, Sumyuku upgrades Izu's weapon, Evil Annihilation, telling Izu that it's the best weapon in the game right now. He further assures him that it should take the #1 Glory player in the world further into the competition. At work, they are approached by Tao, their boss, inviting them to join the team he's assembling to join the Pro League. They spend the next couple of days renovating their new headquarters, and the two finally become the first unofficial pro players for the Excellent Era Pro team. While the two are at the Excellent Era HQ, Izu sees Sumyuku creating a new character, Dancing Rain. Sumyuku tells him that it's a surprise present for Sumacheng. Their raid party team members arrive a few seconds later, being the ones who will also join their team, composed by Izu, Sumyuku, Emotionless Magic, Woven Shadows, Spring Heaven, and Kai Breaker. With the Excellent Era team members complete and ready to go, Brother Tao asks them to sign the contracts and bring out their IDs for documentation. Unfortunately, Sumyuku forgets his ID and tells the team that he'll go back home to get it. Sumyuku manages to get home, get his ID, and then head back to the HQ. While heading back, the windy bad weather makes a 3-branch crack over a car, where the driver tries to dodge it. The car starts to spin and ends up hitting Sumyuku, ending his life. With Su Miyuku's ill-timed death, Suma Cheng is now brotherless and Izu becomes her guardian, creating a huge problem for the team. Excellent Era's not doing so excellent right now, especially with one of their best team members missing from their ranks. With the deadline coming close each day, Excellent Era's pushes their best efforts to look for an expert player to join their team, but they get declined each time. Until the last day, someone finally gets past Izu's requirements and fights against him. Total Darkness challenges Izu in a 1 vs 1 match, but he didn't even get a chance because Izu absolutely destroys him. Izu hands out the contract and asks him to join his team. With Total Darkness completing the team member count requirements, Excellent Era's ready to fight in the tournament. Before they join the competition, Izu gives Suma Cheng her brother's final gift, a glory card, and tells her that her brother made her a character, Dancing Rain, who looks just like her. A couple of days later and the Glory's first Pro League starts. Excellent Era enters the stage in their first professional match against Blue Rain. Being the #1 player in Glory, Izu carries Excellent Era with his dragon skill, and they dominate the preliminary stages, winning the individual 3v3 and 5v5 matches. After the fight, Izu accompanies Suma Cheng back home. Cheng confesses that she's afraid of being alone after her brother's death, but Izu reassures her that he's there and everything is going to be alright. After winning matches by matches, Excellent Era faces off against the self-proclaimed best team, Royal Style. The fight starts and after a couple of minutes, Excellent Era and Royal Style are down to their last 2 players. Izu locks Peaceful Hermit in a duel, while Total Darkness is engaged with Peaceful Canoe, who are both their captain's supports. Izu warns Total Darkness to not let their guard down and to wait for an opening to strike. After an exchange of words, Peaceful Hermit charge dives his scythe and attacks Izu, which Izu dodges and follows up with a spear charge, activating his V-style Sky Strike. Izu uses a Sekura strike, but Peaceful Hermit counters with 2 binding talismans to restrain him. Down to their last hit, Izu orders Total Darkness to finish off Peaceful Hermit, but Royal Style was already expecting this plan. Peaceful Canoe's attack hits Izu and the match is over. Excellent Era loses this match. After the match, Izu meets Peaceful Canoe's previous owner, Guo. He informs Izu that he changed accounts and Lu Liang holds Peaceful Hermit now. He also adds that Total Darkness has potential and used to be playing for Royal Style's boot camp, but didn't make the cut because he always tries to prove himself. Later, Izu walks in on their team arguing, mostly blaming Total Darkness for lacking teamwork, poor decision-making and trying to prove himself, resulting in their total failure. Total Darkness leaves the room and Izu tells him to go back and rest, telling him that he'll wait for him tomorrow. He then tells his team that he also was like him in the past, always trying to prove himself even when no one really asked. The next day, Izu goes with Total Darkness to bring him back to the team. After a couple of talks and some exercise, Total asks if the team is going to still play with only 5 players. Izu tells him they have always been waiting for him and registering his name on the team sheet. Furthermore, they believe in him, instead of Royal Sword who deemed him as a player without any future due to his lack of teamwork. If he joins them, they can win the championship. Finals are here and Excellent Era is still lacking 1 member. The team is worried that they're going to lose without another player on their team, but Izu reassures them that they're going to win and that they have a secret weapon. The finals official starts and Izu draws the first blood. Although Excellent Era manages to hold off Royal Style from royally beating them up, they're clearly struggling without Total Darkness. Half-team break starts and Izu tries to calm everyone as they're already depressed because they won't have a chance to lift the trophy. Emotionless Magic asks about Izu telling them about their secret weapon. Turns out, Izu bamboozled them and bluntly lied to them by telling them that they themselves are the secret weapon. He tries to inspire his team before heading out to fight Royal Style once again. The 2 teams enter the stage again and they'll be facing each other on the new map called the Royal Library. The match starts and Royal Style are on the 2nd floor waiting to ambush Excellent Era. Izu and the gang, on the other hand, casually walk the ground floor, scanning the area. Once he's done scanning, Izu gives the green light, and Spring Heaven shoots the elevator lever. The elevator arrives and Izu ambushes the 4 members of Royal Style. He goes after the gunner first, attacking him with a Sekura Palm Strike. However, the gunner quickly leaps back into action. Peaceful Hermit appears and commands everyone to kill Izu, who casually blocks the projectiles from the gunner while dealing with a rogue and Peaceful Canoe. The gunner throws a grenade, but Izu redirects it to the staircase. Emotionless Magic informs Izu that cracks are forming in the pillars and Izu orders them to stand by. Peaceful Hermit goes after Izu, but he simply dodges the attack. Izu then signals his team to bomb the pillars, separating the Royal Style team and trapping Royal Style's members within Izu's reach. Izu goes to 1v3 the Royal Style members while trying to draw Peaceful Canoe out. Meanwhile, Total Darkness finally appears on stage. Izu drastically increased his attack speed output to hit his combos. He quickly disables the gunner and tries to activate the 7th stage of Battle Spirit. Peaceful Hermit notices this and commands his team to interrupt Izu's combo. But Izu's unmatched speed and skill prove to be a headache for his team. After hitting his 110th combo, he activates his Azure Dragon skill, eliminating the rogue from the battle. However, Royal Style sets the second floor on fire. With no enemy to hit, Izu's combo resets to 0 and now he has to find a way to escape. While his team members are getting beaten by Royal Style, Izu assures his team he's got a plan and starts chasing after the retreating Royal Style members. He orders Skybreaker and Total Darkness to cover him, while using the falling debris as his jumping platform. Once in range, Izu fires off his projectiles, bombing the two members. From the front stage, Ma Cheng cries her out trying to encourage and support Excellent Era, which snowballs into their crowd cheering for their victory. Izu hears this and becomes motivated to win the battle. Total Darkness finishes off the gunner while Izu hits his 117th combo with the enemy's cleric. He then asks TD and Skybreaker to wait for his signal. Spring Heaven gets eliminated and orders Emotionless Magic to bring Woven Shadows to support Izu. Izu hits his 118th combo, and the cleric jumps off the platform, while Peaceful Hermit goes to intercept Izu. Izu hit his 119th combo, before blocking Peaceful Hermit's attack and using it as a platform to catapult himself upwards. Emotionless Magic navigates the ground floor and before running out of MP, he uses his magic to send Woven Shadows to support Izu. Izu finally gives the signal and Total Darkness summons his blades to become Izu's platform, while Skybreaker boosts himself upward within Woven Shadow's Guardian Angel range, boosting Izu's current HP to 60%. Izu throws his spear toward the Peaceful Hermit, but Peaceful Canoe sacrifices himself to redirect the attack. With this final attack, Izu reaches his 120-hit combo, activating the 7th stage of Battle Spirit for the first time in a Pro Championship tournament. And so Izu and Peaceful Hermit face off in the final battle to win the trophy. Izu initiates the attack and starts fighting Peaceful Hermit. The two fight for a full-on minute of intense melee action before coming to a stalemate. Izu resumes attacking and Peaceful Hermit tries to block the attack, but Izu breaks his guard and kicks him down. He then tries to follow up with an attack, but Peaceful Hermit destroys the platform he's dashing on. Peaceful Hermit comes out of the rubble and enchants his scythe with lightning, and the two squares off once again, sustaining wounds from their clashing weapons. Izu sneaks in another Sakura Palm Strike, but Peaceful Hermit counters with two talismans, blasting their own health bars down to their last hit. Peaceful Hermit then enchants his scythe with extended weapon range, and as he confidently charges into Izu's range, he gets hit with a Poison Ivy knockoff ability, Rose Vines, restraining him and stabbing him with his Evil Annihilator, ending the match. Excellent Era wins Glory's first Pro League, finally fulfilling Izu's dream of becoming a pro player, and his late best friend's dream. Watch this next video. See you on the next one.